Hello Twin Flames, thank you for being here, for liking, subscribing and all the amazing comments and feedback you leave me. It means the world. As you know, it's Sunday today. We're going to do a message to find out what's going on. Pop on your notification bell because I will be live later on doing the weekly horoscope reading. So I'm really excited and looking forward to that, and that will be sign by sign individually. So first of all, before I pull the cards, the angels want me to talk a little bit about separation today, because separation is painful and scary and it leads to worry, but it turns your life around. It helps you to focus on you and it brings in soul growth and learning. And separation most of the time happens so that we can renew our energy and take what's been depleted and fill it back up. It happens for protection. So when you go into separation, your higher self and your masculine's higher self is bringing in protection. So just breathe it out, release, relax, let go, and know that you are safe and taken care of. And I was talking to the angels about this morning, and they gave me the scenario of Bella and Edward out of Twilight and the way that their separation happens in New Moon. And if you're a Twi fan like me, you'll enjoy this, this analogy, because think about that film, that book, and the way it made them feel. They had this dynamic love, this intense love. If you haven't seen it, by the way, you need to go and watch it. And, Edward's a vampire, Bella's a human. So there's that huge, that void between them. There's a real obstacle in the way that happens between many twin flames. You could have an age gap, you could have a religious difference, you could be in a same-sex dynamic, and one of the masculine maybe but could be fighting the connection. There's a lot going on, so there's an obstacle, and there's this intense love, and they just can't stay away from each other. They're like magnets guided back together, which is what happens in the twin flame dynamic. You're like magnets. And then, what happens is Edward kind of introduces Bella to his family, and she cuts her finger purely by accident, and it creates, like a domino effect within their dynamic, their relationship, because, his family starts to go for her, as vampires, and he worries for her safety. So he creates separation for her protection. And she can't understand it. She doesn't know why it's happening at the time. She doesn't understand. She just wants all of him in that moment. And that's the way it is for the divine feminine. When separation happens, it's scary, it creates anxiety, it creates panic, it creates fear. But the masculines are kind of doing it from their point of higher self for the feminine's protection. Because the masculine knows that they are taking from the feminine too much, depleting their energy. They're doing it on a level they're not even aware of most of the time. But they're depleting the energy of the feminine, and the feminine needs to restore and replenish that energy. And with Bella and Edward, it happened so very quickly. She knew something was coming, and that's what happens. You know when it's coming, you can sense it, you can feel it, because your higher self knows that it needs to happen. So you feel it already, you know it's coming before it happens. And Bella knew, she was sensing something was coming, and Edward said to her, "It will be like I never existed." And then he was gone, and he left her in the woods, shaking, cold, disorientated, not knowing where she was, hoping he'd come back, shouting his name. And that's what it's like for the feminines when the masculines disappear. So if your masculine's done this in the past or is doing it now, you'll understand what I'm talking about. The feelings you go through when you feel blocked, ignored, ghosted, when separation occurs and it's out of your hands, you feel out of control. And I've done a whole video on this, you can go and watch that. I think it's the 8 steps of separation, but it brings in a healing. And during those months where Bella and Edward were in separation in the film or the book, in the book, it's very significant because it shows months of blank pages. And that's how it feels. It feels blank. It feels like life has no meaning anymore. You know, it feels like you don't know how to move forward. You don't know what to do. You feel lost and alone, just like the blank pages in the book. And in the film, it shows Bella spinning around on a chair and the different months going by. And it showed, you know, Halloween with October, the Christmas period, and she didn't care. You know, she wasn't bothered. All she was focused on was the pain. You know, the fact that she was missing him so much, trying to contact him, sending emails to members of his family that kept rejecting because she wanted to talk to someone about the connection and she had no one to talk to. Well, lucky for divine feminines, you've got other divine feminines that you can talk to. Bella didn't have that. She couldn't confide in anyone. And when you're in separation, you have to look at it in a different way. It's not about blank pages, it's about rewriting the script. It's about knowing that you're being healed in that moment and that during that time, your masculine is going through an awakening. That's why separation occurs. It occurs for awakening within the masculine and recovery for the feminine. So during that period of separation, the masculine has no choice but to face their own self, to face their own fears, to go within, to find who they are, because they haven't got the feminine there feeding them. You know, the feminine feeds the masculine energy, protection, strength, and the masculines take at the beginning. You know, that's why separation occurs, and that's why feminines can feel depleted. You know, frustrated, angry, because you don't understand the concept of why they wouldn't want that kind of nurturing love. So you have to let go, release, and like Bella, you have to heal and allow it to be. And the way that you heal is by allowing yourself to feel. You have to feel the process. You have to grieve it. You know, that's the thing about separation. It's like your person has died and you have to grieve the connection. You know, when we go through a physical loss and the person passes over, we go through a grieving. When you're in separation, it's the same. There's nothing different there. You still feel the same pain and suffering. It's just not really talked about. So you have to trust and accept that, yes, it's a process. It's a process of healing that you go through to get you out the other side so that you start looking after you, start nurturing you, figuring out who you are and what your purpose is here, what your psychic gifts and insights are, what's the point of your existence right now. That's what separation's about, and that's why you're here on this channel, because whether you're in separation or you aren't, you're going through a healing. You're becoming a warrior of light and Archangel Michael's army. You're, teaming up with other like-minded people here to find yourself, to become a leader, to become an inspiration, to become your greatest version, so that when your masculine returns to you, you'll be different. You won't get triggered so much, you're healing. And you'll know that, feminines. Think about how you were at the beginning of the journey and how you are now. And I keep saying this, it's how much you've evolved as a soul, that you've become stronger, more wise, that you've learned that those core wounds within you are now being healed and transformed into something better. You know, my jealousy transformed into unconditional love. This is what you have to realize. Wherever your trigger is, whether it be jealousy, anger, frustration, feeling like you're not good enough, worth issues, whatever it is, all of those things come up during separation and get healed and transformed into something new. And it's like you're in a car. You're in a car, you've got no control. It's like there's something pushing on the pedal and it's speeding forward and you can't hold the steering wheel. Well, when you start to take control of yourself, you grab that steering wheel and all of a sudden you can move the car in the direction you want it to go. And you start to relax in that car. You start to realize that you're the one driving that car, in control of that car. Just like you're in control of the car, you're in control of the journey. So release it today. Understand that if you're in separation, and I know how painful it is, it's happening for a reason. So don't see it like blank pages, see it as a fresh start. Those blank pages are bringing in magic for you, healing for you, power, strength, freedom, courage, safety. Everything you want is there for the taking. What I'm going to do cards on a separate video. I'm going to post this now. But know without a doubt today that you are safe, loved beyond measure, and the angels are with you. And if you haven't seen the film, it's New Moon out of the Twilight Saga. Watch it and you'll understand what I mean. Have an absolutely beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.